Today we're going to talk about the importance of reading pesticide and herbicide labels. It's very important to know what your problem is before you come into the garden center so we can help you correctly identify what the issue or what the problem is. What we like to do when you first come in, if you bring a sample or a picture, we'll take you over to the product and we'll often show you the back of the label, how to mix, proportions, everything varies. So let's say you have a powdery mildew problem versus a leaf spot problem. The proportion of the product or the mixing of the product can vary greatly. We'll also look at the very front of the product and we'll show you the active ingredient. So this product's name is Infuse, but the actual active ingredient is called propiconazole. And so if you watch different shows like Backyard Farmer, they will often talk about the trade names of product versus the actual chemical name of the product. It's very important to look at the precautionary statements on the back of the label. And most of these labels are very diverse. There's a lot of pages and pages of information. And so what we'll often talk about is if a product needs to be applied on a calm day, on a windy day. We'll talk about temperatures. Most products like to be applied below that 85-degree temperature range. And some of the products, depending on if it's a weed control or a fungicide control, may need to be applied when it's cooler. We'll talk a lot about surfactants, and what those are things you mix with different chemicals to make the chemical stick better, whether it be a weed control or a fungicide. And that also has precautionary statements to go along with it. So in a recap, it's very important to know what your problem is before you come into the garden center. That helps us identify what your issue is. And a lot of times we'll see samples or we'll just hear stories about, hey, my plant has a wilting problem or a spot or I see a little insect. And so the picture and or the best descriptions we can get helps us identify whether we get the right fungicide, insecticide, or combination product. The same goes for weed controls because that can vary greatly. There's also a lot of federal regulations that go along with that. And so it's very important for us to know what you're dealing with there so we can help you apply things at the right level and the correct amount.